Hello,
Hey,
I'm
I hear
here
you're playing.
to,
I hear you're playing Resident Evil.
yeah,
All
one, the original is Jill, and I'm stuck. I don't know where
stuck,
to
but
go
Jill's easy mode. How can you be stuck?
because I can't find the door.
Hmm.
I don't remember where the door is. I have a key with a shield, and I don't remember where the shield door is.
Me neither. I gave up.
I'm here to debate you
Oh, on what?
on everything. I don't. I will think of something.
Okay, well, you're out of luck because I'm an expert on everything.
What? Sorry. What? What happened?
I said you're out of luck because I'm an expert on everything.
Oh, you're just like Steven.
Exactly.
Do you know?
Actually, Steven may
Yeah.
know everything, but I know a little bit more of everything than Steven does.
Oh, do you know more about it than 99% of people?
I know more about it than 101% of people.
Oh, wow. That's more than Steven.
101.5. Yeah,
Damn,
it's way more than Steven.
that is more than Steven. I've actually done a video on our mutual friend, Chad Logic, a new
Mm-hmm.
one. I'm not sure if you've seen it,
Well, I haven't yet.
in which
What am
Chad
I missing?
Logic basically said pretty openly that he was a nobody before DK made his career. You know,
It's pretty sad.
it is pretty sad. Basically said I was a 7K like streamer who just made a couple $100 per month. And then DK came and changed everything, you know? Oh yeah, and also he said that it's okay to hire a Nazi as long as they keep their beliefs at home and do a good job.
Um, Depends. Um, if we're talking about someone who has those beliefs and isn't antisocial off the clock, I'd agree. Um, they do their job. They aren't like harassing people while off the job or on the job. That's like I don't like it, but that's their business. I don't care. The problem with DK is that that's not what he's doing.
I think that in a real life work setting, being an open Nazi would not work, even if one would not
I
bring it
don't
to
think it
work.
would either, but in the abstract, like I don't know, you can't really like police
Like,
people's ideas to a certain extent insofar as they are private.
true,
If they're not treated as private, that's a different
but
salamander.
I think the fact is that at this, when one openly hires a Nazi to their company, brand, or whatever, then basically the brand gets associated with it, whether the
I
owner
agree.
wants it or
No, no,
not.
no. If well, here's the thing: like if they're known to be a Nazi,
Yeah,
that means it hasn't been kept private. This
yeah,
isn't just like an idea they have.
right,
This isn't like a proclivity they have. Their grandfather was a racist or whatever, but they know how to operate in like general society and not be toxic towards the people they engage with. So people just don't know.
right.
Sure. The problem with is that like it's not like the word conservative. If you're a I don't think DK is a Nazi to be clear, but if you're a Nazi, it's actually unambiguous about your attitudes toward particular things.
Well,
The fact of knowing you're a Nazi implies a statement.
DK is
Like
actually pretty, like, not significant to the point because Chad Logic just said that he's okay with hiring a Nazi, you know?
that's
As long as it is like,
yeah.
as long as the Nazi gives him revenue and does not
Oh,
bring the Nazi thing into the work.
okay. Well, that's pretty weak.
It's pretty silly. Like, to me, that indicates that
It's
Chad Logic does
it's
not
silly for a
know.
couple of reasons. It's silly to
Yeah.
say that if you're gonna do it. It's also silly to do it because people will find out about the connection and that you're kind of passively
At
accepting
that
of it.
point, it becomes like basically becomes on brand for you to hire Nazis, literally. And also,
Uh, yeah. We're now going to be covered on Chud Logic, by the way. Thank you for that.
it's okay. It's alright. I've already been covered twice on Chat Logic. And
You
once,
don't need to sell me on DK being a bad person to associate with.
by Quiman, his friend. Also today on the premiere, Chat Logic's audience like entered the chat to say
Your
that,
chat?
yeah, to tell me that I should DM them on Discord so that they can explain my misconception about DK threatening the mods on Discord. And I'm spreading misinfo.
I feel like that's been done to death, but like I'm not going to tell you not to.
No, I didn't. Like, the truth is that it's not really misinfo if Chat Logic himself acknowledged it and said that he dealt with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at this point, it's like he acknowledged it. Because if it was nothing that he would have nothing to deal with. I think.
No, it's ongoing stuff. It's like he didn't just like say rude things, right? He wasn't just like bigoted in his language.
Oh yeah, he threatened people with doxing. Pretty
Implied
openly.
doxing. Digging stuff up on them.
Right.
Sorry, hang on one sec. Sorry, just part of food is very chewy. He didn't just threaten people. He didn't just threaten people either. He also like fabricated DMs to make people like Rhizome. He also did this to me. To make it appear as though people were like sexting minors. Like that could be career destroying. I work for myself, so like I'm pretty safe. But like for someone like Rhizome, who's I believe a school teacher,
Right.
if anybody made that connection, that could be a career death sentence.
Right.
Yeah, like it's actually very serious.
Did you just say that you were a school teacher?
Did I say I was a school teacher? No, I'm not a school teacher.
Okay.
No, Rhizome is, or was at least.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if he is still presently. Yeah.
I'm a language school teacher. At least I taught in a few language schools. Right. I've got a topic for you.
Sure.
Because I have listened to your debates with people that are basically not very, that are, well, I guess morally bankrupt would be the phrase. And you've seen Trans Voices debate with Destiny, right?
I've seen them once or twice.
Oh, she only debated Destiny once, right? On music.
Demon Mama?
No. Trans Voices.
Oh, Trans Voices. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the music person.
Yeah. But she has a whole channel.
Sorry. I thought. Sorry, when you said Trans Voices, I assumed you were like speaking generally about.
Her channel is.
Yeah, no, I've got the segment on my channel of that. Yeah, I was talking about that with the last guest.
Oh, so do you think that you could? Do you see yourself adapting some of her strategies into your own discussions with people like that?
Yeah, she's very good. Now, granted, like a lot of it wasn't strategic. A lot of what she was able to do was just by dint of having just a superior grasp of the field. So, like to be able, like one of the most powerful rhetorical moves you can make, is to be able to counter someone's explication by saying no, it's actually the opposite of that, and then be able to give like a cogent explanation of why.
Yeah.
Which is she was able to do. I wouldn't be able to do that in that context.
Not in context of
do that. That's like, yeah, she knows her stuff in a big way.
Not in the context of music, but you have debates about political theory, right?
Sure, yeah.
And
even then, though, like political theory is super broad. It wouldn't take much to like outstrip me. If you study like any facet of it for a year and up, you'll run circles around me in something.
Right. Yes, it depends on the topic, because I believe that usually it's a good stratagem to sort of allow people to sort of, people usually say, hang themselves on their
Own petard.
weird, you know, tangents and then calmly dismantle them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, optically that's always better, unless like there's a good setup where flipping out on them is cathartic for the audience.
Right.
Sometimes that does work, but it's a particular case.
Like, I think that would be the best strategy with someone like Steven. I think so.
Steven, it depends. I think for trans voices, how she did that was basically unbeatable. That was one of the best performances I've ever seen.
Yeah. He was basically shown to be out of his depth. Like, the funny thing about that is, like, I've heard Destiny say in a clip recently that, oh, audience keeps saying that I'm arrogant because they keep saying that I know everything. I don't know everything. And it runs pretty
What, you don't? You mean you've been lying to me?
well, it runs counter to all of his claims because not so long ago before this statement, he said, oh, I don't know. Sometimes I don't know things, but I just read on them briefly. And even that brief reading is more than 99% of people. You know?
Yeah.
He just sells himself as knowing everything on every subject ever. And it's.
Or at the very least, like, conversant with every subject ever. Like, he doesn't need to know everything. He can, like, there are cases where you'll see him, like, talk to someone and he'll accept, like, criticism or, like, exposition or whatever.
Yeah, but he will add
But
a classification
it's really
of.
important that he's not just out of his depth, ever.
Right. But he
Which,
will.
like, I get on a certain level, because it's like, if you're an entertainer, nobody wants to see somebody just kind of, like,
Yeah.
you know,
He will
freezing out.
always add the qualifier of knowing more than 99% of people about the subject.
Which, I mean,
Even
to be
when.
fair, might be true, but that's not setting a high bar.
Well. I mean, the US education is sort of like. I'm not sure if deserved or not deserved. It has a reputation on high school level of being very low. I'm not sure.
It's not great
how
here either.
The Canada one compares. Like, I know that places in like Poland or Germany, high school is basically prep school for university. Is that the function of high school in
As
Canada?
a university?
Like a prep school for university.
No, God, no.
Like, you go through high school, in certain year you sort of specialize the subject depending on, and you tailor it to the university that you eventually want to go to.
Basically, never. No.
Oh, like that's
It's
actually
very one size fits all.
that's the goal of high school, to sort of prepare a person for university.
Can you toss this for me? Thanks so much.
And if one doesn't want to go to university, they usually go
Sorry.
to
Thank you.
a school that just prepares a person to get a job right after it.
It basically prepares you for nothing. A lot of first and second year university here is remedial high school. It's bad. Education here is in a very bad state, unless you're one of the lucky people who goes to like one of the well-funded schools, one of the wealthier parts of the island or parts of BC or parts of Canada.
Well funded
Yeah.
public schools or
Yeah, public school or
Okay.
private school. There are private schools.
right. In Poland, it's less about funding and more like about the reputation that the school builds for itself.
Yeah.
And there's like this list of the ranking, right?
Yeah.
And people send the people like their kids to the best high schools. You pass an exam to go to the high school. And right now, you pass a final exam in high school, and you get admitted to a university depending on the score on your final high school score
I
exam.
mean, like of course, like they'll let you into universities here based on your high school performance, but there's very little tailoring that goes on in most cases.
Right, but the thing is that the university that you can go into based on your high school score will be free
Hmm.
because it's public.
Well, we're heavily subsidized. Like a university here is much cheaper than it is in the States.
Right.
So there is that. Like that does offset a little bit like a lot of the problems of the public school system. Um, it's a little bit, a little bit,
Of course,
um,
there's
because people can afford to take like an extra year. People
right.
can afford, or more people can afford, I should say. Um, because like in the United States, this is like the rundown. So if you spend like $50,000 for a year of education in the States, you'll spend about $10,000 here.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a lot cheaper.
Um, Sometimes you can get through for as little as like $4,000. That's just tuition. But like $4,000 for a full course load.
Okay,
Um, for like a winter and spring semester.
so do people come here from the US to study cheaper?
Sometimes a lot of people from China and Japan come here.
Okay,
A lot of people from China come here.
a lot of people from all over the world come to the Polish medical university because it's a lot cheaper than anywhere else.
A lot of Lebanese students, I think. Um, Definitely a lot more recently from what I've noticed. In At my university at least. Trying to
Huh.
think of where else people come from. Very few people from Europe, oddly. I don't remember seeing like many
I think Poland might be a
many like
cheaper
people
for
from like
medicine at
Germany or
least.
Sweden or wherever.
For medicine, Poland is a cheap destination for foreigners.
Yeah, and surprisingly few like Indian students. This is just based off of like eyesight. So
Yeah,
um, so like probably a lot of Indian students that just aren't like, my brain would just register as from India at sight, but not a ton of them. Although while American students don't come here that frequently, a lot of Americans do teach here. So one of my best professors was a ex-law student
the US.
from I can't, where was he from? California? I can't remember.
Of course, lawyery stuff is very tricky because
Well,
the
he was
lawyer,
he was a law school student who went
right?
into religious and medieval studies, and he taught
Okay,
religious studies. He was very good.
because like law is very country based, right? Like,
Yeah, but like legal theory extends beyond just like knowing the writ of the law in your home country.
right, but a
So
lot of
if you're like
in
if you're like a
practice,
scholar of like international law or things like that, then you'll deal with a whole bunch of stuff.
yeah. But I know that practicing lawyers do not sort of usually a practicing lawyer when dealing with a case that is about a law from a different country, they usually won't do it on their own. They will usually ask for help from a lawyer from that country right off the bat. You know?
Damn it. Sorry. Ugh, got a squid head here.
I know my friend does it like that. Usually asks for help. He doesn't know more than 99% of people around the world about law.
Well, that's unfortunate. I can't imagine what that would be like, but that must be rough.
It
I'm
was
gonna let in Daedalus because we have one more person waiting behind him.
okay.
Um, it's been great chatting. Come on next time. And shout out your channel before you go.
Right. I have a YouTube called Lucy Hazet, and I also now have a White Forest page.
Oh,
called
nice. Did
Yeah.
who set you up with that?
White Nervosa.
Oh, nice. Cool.
So the address for that is lucyhazet.org/live. So I'm
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure, Lucy. You have a good night.
okay. I'll see you.
Take care.
All right. So we have done it. We have debated and defeated President Sunday in the market board of ideas. And now I have no clue where to go.